Most of this will go in our notes vocab section, so we should be there. Coordinate plane. We covered this at the end, very end of 6th grade here. We had our coordinate plane. You guys were graphing things on it, using grid paper, all the good stuff here. So really, we're just going through how to read and interpret points on the plane here. We're adding a few more pieces of information to the whole mix here. The grid coordinate plane, I mean, it's this thing right here. That's what we call this here, the coordinate plane. In our stuff here. No, we're just going to draw a rough graph ourselves. I can give you a graph paper, but you really shouldn't need much graph paper here. But we're going to draw ourselves. This is called an axis. Yes, Colin.
When you want us to simplify in the homework, do you want us to take the exponent and do the exponent, or do you want us to just leave the exponent?
You mean showing the process of flipping them around?
No, do you want us to do
Oh, you mean evaluate
them?
them?
Yes.
What does the directions say?
This says simplify.
Probably simplify most of them. You should be able to then. You're talking on the front page. Front page, they leave them all in exponential form. Right. Simplify. It says simplify each expression using an exponent. So you don't have to. Like if you get an answer 7 squared, you could leave it as 7 squared. You don't have to write 49. Is that what you were asking?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Leave it in exponential form.
Yes.
So if it's 7 squared, leave it as 7. I mean, if you want to simplify, it can, but a lot of them are going to get pretty big, so you don't have
If it's
to.
like someone to the 0 power, should we just write it as 1 or leave
Yeah,
it?
whatever you want there, but the exponent form is good. Okay, all right, 7th grade, back on track. So, few specific things on any grid coordinate plane. In the center here, all right, well, I guess we'll do that, but we've seen, I'm just going to go out maybe 5 spots. Sig, you with me? Making it out 5 spots here in our notes here. You have a pencil? There you go. Yeah. So we'll just go 5 in every direction here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I can put more, but it's good enough here. So, as you no doubt know, I mean, especially if you're doing it by hand, you won't do a lot of these by hand, but for our notes, good enough. But keeping the spacing generally together. Normally, you can see, as we know, graph paper here. We'll explain what the benefit of that is. But so this center point here is what we call the origin point. Origin. And the origin is located at point 0, 0. It's neither up nor down nor left nor right. It's just in the smack dab middle of everything. It's where the two lines or axes intersect each other. So these two axes both have names. This is the x-axis over here, this one, that line, and this is the y-axis right here, the one that goes up and down. That's the y-axis. So we have the x-axis, goes left and right. We have the y-axis, that goes up and down. I can put a point anywhere I want in here. Like, for example, if I put a point right there. Right there. And the question I would pose to you is, at what coordinate is that point located? So, a couple things you need to know. What's a coordinate? A coordinate is like a place somewhere on here where a dot would be. These are all different coordinates here. A, B, that correspond to numbers. So how do I know what the numbers are? How do I say where that point is? And this is what we're trying to make sure you guys get out of this lesson, that you can read, interpret, find everything you need to know about points inside a grid coordinate plane. But The x-axis here, we start at 0. And when we move to the right, the values will increase. So this would be 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth here. When we go to the left of the origin, or to the left of the y-axis, this is where our negative x values are. So I would have a -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, so on and so forth there. In a sense, if you just looked at just the x-axis, ignore the y-axis altogether, I have essentially made a number line,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's just a number line right here. So in order, going from left and right. But the origin where the points is 0, to the right, the values increase, to the left they decrease. Okay, up and down, same deal. Just like reading a thermometer, we know that as we go up the thermometer, the temperatures go up. As you go look down the thermometer, the temperatures go down, or start even going into the negative values. They can go way down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going up, and then going down, -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5. And there's no real limit to how far these coordinates can go. In theory, a grid coordinate plane goes in infinity in all directions, but we are, of course, limited by our paper or whatever we have here. If we were doing it maybe on a computer, we could extrapolate it in more ways, but this is what we got. This is how we read it. So to identify any point, or to name a point, all right? Name a point. It goes in brackets, and there's always going to be two values involved here. Sam, what are you doing? Okay, do something else. Because all of them are just watching play behind you, so do something else. Or just put the, put the computer away, do something. Read your book, go to deer time, that's what you do. Okay, so all of them, they're defined by 2 points. There's the x value, the left and right value, how far left and right does it go, and then there's the second point that determines your up and down movement, how far up and down does the point reside. So the order that you put them matters, and I'll show you in a minute why that is. But whatever the x-coordinate is, that is always what you're going to write first. You always list your x-coordinate first and your y-coordinate second. Always in that order, 100% of the time. So if I go up here, first thing if I write what point this is at here is I need my x-coordinate. So where does that lie on my x-axis, that point? Yeah, right about here. You could say is where it is. We agree with that it's pretty much it. Right. And then same thing with the y. You can probably tell that should be at the +1, right? See that? So if this point here, I would say that is at 0.31, is what I would say, or coordinate 3, 1. Some people say dash, 3 dash 1.
Nope.
On your own, what if I said graph the coordinate 1, 3? Where would that be on your, you can do it on your own, I'll put it on mine, but plot 1, 3 on your graph.
Are you gonna come around and see it?
I'll just put it on here. Should be somewhere else, I would hope. It's not going to be where 3, 1 is. So 1, 3, there's my x value, there's my y value. So if I got a 1, that's telling me I go 1 spot to the right. So I'll be somewhere up here. And then my y value is 3. That's my up and down. 1, 2, 3, right there. Where do those 2 points, imaginary lines or whatever, intersect? Right about there. There we go. So there would be coordinate 1, 3. X value of 1, 1 spot to the right. Y value of 3, 3 spots up. And it works the same for negative values. Say I had the coordinate -2, +3. Plot that one. Plot that point. Where would -2, +3 reside on your graph? So, x value -2, so there's my origin. -2, when I see negative values in the x, that means I'm going left. So -2 would be right here. Right there, there's my -2 line. +3, right up here. Where do those two things intersect? Right about there. So that would be about where point -2, +3 is.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Right. So if we look at our homework here, what do we got to do? You can stay where you are in your notes for the moment. It says give the coordinates of each point, then name the quadrant or axis on which each point lies. So we're doing two different things here. We can see we got all these points they've thrown on there. Your objective will be to list the numerical coordinate of the letters. But the second part, name the quadrant or axis. What does that mean? So all points will lie in one of 6 different zones, so to say. And we know 2 of the zones right now. A point that sits like this point right here. All right, I'll pull a stick. What point did I just draw right there? What coordinate is that point at? Jackson.
4, 0.
Right, that's at point 40. If I say where does that point lie? Well, here's the 4 choices. It could be somewhere in this box, somewhere in that box, somewhere in that box, somewhere in that box. 1, 2, 3, 4, or somewhere on this line, 5, or somewhere on this line, 6. Everything's going to be in one of those 6 areas, and only those areas. But something that sits right on the axis, if I said where is this point located, I would just write x-axis. For the name the quadrant or axis, in this case, I guess it's the same as point H right here. But point H, I would write 40, x-axis. Okay, so ditto with a point on the y-axis, right there. What coordinate did I just make right there? Sig. What coordinate did I just plot there?
0, 5.
0, 5, right, yep. No left or right movement at all, so sitting on the y-axis, anything on the y-axis will have an x value at 0. Anything on the x-axis will have a y value at 0. No, right? How high up? 5 spots, 0, 5. Where does it lie? You would write y-axis. So now, each of these areas is called a quadrant. And how they determined how this is going to be, I don't know. But up here, this is quadrant 1. All right, quadrant 1 is a positive. X is positive, Y is positive. Over here is quadrant 2. In quadrant 2, your X value is negative, your Y value is positive. Here's quadrant 3 over here. In quadrant 3, your X value is negative, your Y value is negative. And then this is quadrant 4. Your X value is positive, your Y value is negative. So positive, positive, negative, negative, positive, negative, negative, positive. They all will land in one of these 6 zones, guaranteed. The only exception may be the origin point itself, which officially lies on both the x and the y-axis, but everything else besides that is in one spot and one spot only. Okay, so it's not hard to do. The hardest part in my mind is this thing right here, just the order they put it together. I mean, in my mind, it would be awesome if this just could be 1, 2, 3, 4 this way, but it's not. Not a decision made by myself personally, by the way. Just telling you, I did not make this decision about why it's set up this way, but this is what it is. So same thing on your quiz and test. You will be, or not, yeah, the quiz and test, you will have to do both. I will want you to list the coordinate, but I will also want you to list your resides. I know in years past, that second part tends to get lost in the wind for some people here, so
Yeah.
So I'm emphasizing that. I'll emphasize it to you on the quiz and your test.
Last year, I don't think we had to name which one.
No,
was
we
it,
didn't have to,
but-
no, we did not have that part last year. We did not. So, that's about it in a nutshell here. So, I am good with us just verbally. We just stay where you are in your notes. If you want to write anything in the vocab, there's probably not going to be any notes today, and that's fine. I know it should all be in vocab, and I get it. I'm not going to be like, no notes. They're just somewhere. But for the moment, if it's gonna have you, we'll just go through, well, let's just start here. We'll go through everything we gotta do. I'll explain to you exactly what I'm looking for, so we're all clear. 2 through 12, nothing to show. All I need you don't need to write it, you can write the answer. So, 3 through 11, let's do it. See all the points over there?
Yeah.
You list the coordinates, tell me where it's located. Number,
Write this down in notes.
no, let's just verbally do it. If you want to write it down, that's fine. Say in your vocab section too. If you want to write some of this down, cool, if you got it. So number 3, C, Brooke.
C is -6, 3.
Yep. Located where? Where's it located?
Oh. In quadrant 2.
Quadrant 2. So for C, if I'm doing it in my notes, number 3, I'd go -6, 3, and then I'd probably just do a 2 like that. That's how I would do it in my homework, right? Write the coordinate. Your coordinate should be in brackets. The numbers should be separated by a comma. Otherwise, it'll be really confusing. And then just write where it's located. Yes? 5, P, Dom.
6, and then -4,
Yep.
and then quadrant 4.
Right, 6, -4, quadrant 4. G, Savannah.
G, -4 and 2,
Yep.
and located in quadrant 2.
Yes. Great. -4, +2 in quadrant 2. Number 9, Evangeline.
Number 9.
Yep, Ed.
0 and 9.
0 and what?
0 and 5.
0, 5. And where's it located? Where?
1 or 1. Y-axis 1.
If it's right on the Y, so for that one, it's on the Y. It's not in quadrant 1, 2, 3, or 4, because it lies on the axis itself. So then I would just write, what was it, 0, 5, and I would write Y-axis, because that's where it is. It's not in, because it's right on the line. So for number 9, if you got the axis, just write which axis it's on. Okay. I'm guessing you guys could continue. Which points are in quadrant 1? 13. Which points are in quadrant 1? Sierra.
I, L, and K.
Those are all in quadrant 3. That's the answer to 15.
And F, E, and A.
F, E, A, right. In any order, A, E, F. So which ones are in quadrant 1? A, E, F.
A, E, I, O, U.
She gave us 15 too. She's a class act. So quadrant 3 down here, I, L, K. Order doesn't matter. But good with that? Okay, backside. Says identify the quadrant or axis that indicates the location of the point. Again, you can just kind of
No.
plot or look at these graphs maybe down here, right? You can plot it, just kind of go, let's see, 3, -6. 3, -6 is down here, right? Right there. Which quadrant am I in?
4.
4. 1, 2, so I'd write quadrant 4. 23, Damien, where's that located?
23.
Yep.
That's the x-axis.
Eh.
What?
Six.
Oh, I see. Never
Damien.
mind. The y-axis.
Y-axis, right? Be down here somewhere. So sitting on the y-axis, right? So Good with that?
Yeah.
For this one here, I am fine with you just doing it in your workbook. You don't have to rebuild an entire graph in your notebook. You can just do it right in here, okay? That's fine. You don't have to, all right? So we're cool with that. But 29, what would that look like there? So 29, I'm just gonna use my graph paper.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Sure, real quick. Yep. So 29, you can just do it right in your workbook if you want, but what should you do? Well, see if you can graph these 4 points. I got point 2, 2, negative 2, 2, negative 2, negative 2, and 2, negative 2. Connect those 4 points, connect those 4 dots, you'll make a shape. What shape do you think you might make?
I got it.
So see if you can do it. Plot the 4 points, connect the 4 dots.
Number 20.
I was joking.
You can look at 27 for a nice example of how that was done too. You see, there's the 4 coordinates, they plotted the 4 points, they connected the 4 dots,
Are we doing 20?
they made a trapezoid. You're doing 29. Your homework, you'll do 28. You can do it right in the workbook.
Oh, wow.
Right.
What is it? Sig shape.
So again, objective, just being able to name, identify points here is what we're up to. It's kind of a one-day lesson. We don't really come back to this concept for quite a while. A grid coordinate plane. 8th grade get to spend a lot more time with grid coordinate plane than you do in 7th grade. Okay.
We have to be done with what we're doing now.
So 29, how should it look? Point A, 2, 2, that would be up here. There's point A over there. Point B, negative 2, positive 2, that would be right there. Point C, negative 2 down here. Point D, 2, negative 2, right there. So there's where your 4 points would reside. If I connect the dots, connect the dots, la 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 la, connect the dots. Pee Wee Herman.
Name the figure.
You guys don't know Pee Wee Herman, do you?
I don't know.
You'll be scarred for life if I show it to you.
I want to see it.
It's something. It's something. It's hard to define what exactly it was back in the day. It's, maybe I will. Anyway, so there's what we got. Think you can do it on your own?
What
Connect the
heck is
dots?
that? He looks like Mr. Bean.
There's something going on. Anyway, Sam, just give me 2 minutes and we're done. Then you can look at it. So there we go. Last part, solve a little word problem here. Answer some questions. Any questions? 7th grade. Homework 2 through, you can do 34. No reason you can't. Order them from greatest to least.
Yeah, I know, I saw
What would
that.
you call this?
Right?
Yeah.
34? 2 through 34 even? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we good?
Call that shape.
Hey, give me a moment.